Okay, so hello my friends, I hope you're all doing well. This is not the video that I was hoping to bring you next in line. I had hoped to take you with me to do some B-roll, which would accompany the Black Storks story that I'm working on. But following my last excursion up here to the Black Storks nest, which was now about 2 weeks ago, I had a few days of guiding, and then following that I got a chest infection, and that put me out of action for a good while. I still haven't fully recovered either, and in the meantime as well, throughout these 2 weeks we have had some crazy weather, so going from 30 degrees heat to massive electrical thunderstorms, of which we've had 3 or 4 in the last few days, with torrential rain, lots of wind, etc. Today is just a drizzly day, but because of the storms I was a little bit worried about how the storks are managing up here on the mountain, especially with the wind and the lightning. So I really wanted to come up and first of all check on them, and secondly, part of the sequence that I want to have in like this mini documentary that I want to create on the Black Storks is a sequence where I show the storks how protective they are of the eggs in all conditions, so whether they're panting in the heat or whether they're protecting the nest from the cold and the rain, so that I can just switch, transition from one weather condition to another, just to illustrate how protective they are of their brood. So that's the other second reason that I've come up today, to see if I can get some footage of them in the rain on the nest. The temperature has dropped as well, so it's now in low single figures, and we have snow again on the mountain, though I can't show you it because it's all covered in cloud. But yes, significant changes last 10 days in weather. So because of the rain, I won't be able to talk to you on the hike up, and then what I'll probably try and do is set up my poncho to try and protect me and the camera. So once I've done all that, then I can set the camera up under the poncho using it as a tarpaulin to protect myself and the camera, so that I can last a bit longer than I would be able to if I was just wearing waterproofs and still getting wet. So yeah, I shall head up the mountain. Hopefully they're on the nest. Hopefully I have to be really careful in this, because I really don't want to spook them off the nest in bad weather, because I don't want to expose the eggs to cold. And I'm pretty sure they do have eggs now, especially reviewing some of the previous footage, and somebody commented, a friend commented on the previous video, that the way she settled down, the mama, onto the nest, looks like she would have eggs there, despite the male not wanting to sit on them. So I want to be really careful of that. So if I have the slightest feeling that I might scare them, then I'll just withdraw. Okay, so I shall head up the mountain and hopefully speak to you from under the poncho when I'm set up. So I shall see you up there. It took me forever to walk up this time, probably twice as long, because I was constantly out of breath following my chest infection. My lungs were really burning this time. A bonus point though is with the rain having softened everything underfoot, it made my approach almost silent here, so I was able to set up the poncho, the camera and everything, set myself up here without disturbing the stork, and she is still sat there quite peacefully. And I'm just starting recording on a wide angle in case the male should return whilst I'm talking to camera. But yeah, it's beautiful if difficult conditions. I'm actually being dripped on a little bit, but that's okay. I can dry off later. I don't particularly want to stay up here too long, just in case the weather turns really bad, and because the mountain track to get up here was quite difficult. But yeah, so she's there. I'm getting the shots that I wanted with her in the rain, sitting on her nest, on the eggs. And if the male turns up, that'll be a bonus. The light is almost non-existent, so I'm shooting at 3200 ISO. I'll just stop that again. And hopefully I'll be able to pull it back in post. Anyhow, I'm going to hang out here for a while. I've got a flask with me, so I'm going to break out the tea, and I'll see how long I can last, basically. Okay, so it's been over an hour now since I've been here. Still no sign of the male. The female is totally unmoving, sat protecting her eggs in the rain. And the rain, which is getting harder actually, and it's really dark as well, so my exposure is quite difficult. I'm shooting at ISO 3200, wide open on this lens, which is 4.6. I'm actually shooting a wide angle shot in case he flies back. I can get him flying back to the nest. And I'm also shooting at a shutter angle of 360 degrees as opposed to the favoured 180, because that gets me an extra stop of light. It does mean that for her, sat on the nest perfectly still, it makes no difference, because there's no movement. But if he should fly back, there will be a lot more blur in his movement. Which I'm hoping will still be okay, should I be lucky enough to capture it, that is. Anywho, I'm going to hold on for as long as I can here, because I'm actually getting wet now on my back, and my backpack is getting a little bit wet too. The camera's okay under the canopy, as is this one. And that's about it really. Hopefully it's about 10:30 AM now. I'll stick around to 11 probably, if not a bit longer, and call it quits. I think I've got the shots that I wanted anyway, which is her sat on the nest on her eggs, protecting them from the rain, so that I can make that little sequence of her in the heat, then in the rain, and different conditions to show how protective she is of her eggs. So, yeah, I shall catch up with you in a bit. Okay, so I'm back at the car after the hike down, and slightly muddier, a lot wetter, but at least I got the images that I was after. This will be the last visit I pay to her before I come back in mid to late June, when hopefully the chicks will be quite a good way on in their development. I'm sorry this will be just a brief video, I should think, and I'm sorry it hasn't been that interesting in terms of what I filmed, but I hope that in the long scheme, the grand scheme, I should say, of things, when you see it all come together as an entire sequence, then it should all make sense, that just these little bits of footage that you can accumulate and to go to the final edit, it all just makes for that much of a richer edit and that much more of an interesting story when it comes to telling it. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed, such as it is. And it just remains for me to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you as always for your support. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. So bye for now.